Hello, my Teaser King family. I apologize. My hair was standing up for some reason. Hello, my Teaser King family. Let's take a picture for Daria. All right, so pretty big show today. There's a couple of videos I'm watching that I want to tackle and critique. A lot of bullshit. So March 11th is supposed to be this repo day. Look out for the banks going under them. Keep in mind, the Federal Reserve is supposed to prevent this from happening. They're supposed to be not allow banks to fail. That's what the Federal Reserve's really for, but we know they're not. What was gold doing today? And the paper gold price is 2026, up $2, and silver 22.92. So we know this is derivatives. We know it's all bullshit, and we shouldn't worry about it. But see, part of the things I'm going to talk about was I was watching Colonel McGregor right now, and what's happening is all these elitists and globalists that we hate are trying to scare people. There's something that Russia's going to invade Europe. That's just not true. It's not going to happen. Russia has no thought of just taking the Ukraine cities back on their border. They're not going to nuke anybody. They certainly don't want non-Russian people like Poles or Czechs or Germans to rule. It's not Hitler. He doesn't want to rule the world. He just wants to run Russia. And what's happening is these elitists trying to scare people. Oh no, Russia's coming. They're going to destroy you. You need us. You need more military. You need this. You need that. It's just listening. And all the people in Sweden, they're scared out of their minds. Russia's going to attack them. Because that's what their fucking government's saying. And it's like, no, that's not what's happening. Russia has no interest in invading Sweden. So why are they scaring people? Because government only works if they scare you. Because then you need them. Otherwise, you don't need them. So that's a big factor with what these globalists are trying to do. And they'll do the same thing here. As they ruin the money, they'll start saying, oh, you need us to come out with new money. And you need us, so go into crypto. So we can track you. It's really a shame what's happening now. So I was just watching this video here. What was that? I think I was watching this one.
People will call, answer 2 simple questions. Today's guest is Colonel Douglas McGregor, a distinguished military strategist, decorated.
Yeah, so I was just watching this one right here, Ukraine trapped. And I started watching that one a little bit too. But he says the same thing in all of them. Basically, Ukraine's crooked. The Zelensky's a bigger crook than BlackRock guy. 500,000 people died in the Ukraine from the war. The Russians are finding 75-year-old men and 14-year-old boys in the military. Like they'll get them and then they surrender. Guy's 75 years old. Unbelievable. So I am not going there to meet Jenna. Sorry. But this whole thing's about money. It's BlackRock's ready to rebuild it and make money off of it. And Zelensky and this other government guy. All the government guys. They're all they care about is the money. I don't care how many people they kill because they can make more money. And the ironic part is the money will be worthless. So that's really the most ironic part of this whole thing. You got heavily inflated money with the big dot. All their money will be worthless. How much gold and silver do they have? I don't think they're smart enough to understand it. And then you have, excuse me, and you just have, this control factor. We want to control you. These guys sound like they're insane. I win a football bet. I don't want to control people, right? I go win at poker. I win $1,000. I don't want to control anybody. I want to take the money, buy gold, and just stay in my house. I mean, it's really unbelievable that these guys are so into the control. It must come from George Soros. Because you can't control people, first of all. The thought of trying to control people is ridiculous, but you think you can, you're out of your fucking mind. That ain't going to happen. So therefore, what are you going to do? Say, I just got a mess. I'm trying to kill. My UI isn't responding. Okay. So what are you trying to control the people for? It just doesn't make sense to me. And the best part is the money's going away. So it's coming more and more clear. Egypt's off of the dollar. Saudi Arabia is off of the dollar. Russia and China. Russia's for sure off because they can't be on. And so they'll quote China as this housing crisis and they're collapsing, and they got 60,000 tons of gold. They ain't collapsing. So that's the shape of the world. They're all power hungry, but your money's not going to be worth. And if what's BlackRock? And keep in mind, BlackRock's not rich. So if I gave him $1 million to BlackRock, not that I have it, but if I gave it to him and he's buying stock or doing whatever with houses with my $1 million, he doesn't own the $1 million. He's a, what do you call it, an investment banker. So he's investing my $1 million. So he's managing $1 million in assets, but it's my money. So he's going to build. So he signed up to rebuild the Ukraine. Okay. And what's he going to do? He's going to go in there and build houses. You think there's a buyer? Oh, well, charge the Ukrainian people $1,000. They don't have it. You ain't charging them $1,000. I told you my story in Romania when I was with Carmen. We went to eat dinner, a real nice restaurant, chocolate mousse for dessert. Got a steak, whatever. 140 lei, which is Romanian money, but divided by 4, it was like $40. It might have been 160. So at first I go, oh shit, 160. And Carmen looks at me, and then what's wrong? I go, oh yeah, it's in lei. I gotta divide. Oh, it's $40. Okay, who cares? She says, well, what are you so worried about? I go, well, because in the U.S., if you say $160 for dinner, you assume it's 160. You don't start dividing by 4. So I got to get used to that. I don't know what her deal was. Anyway, so I go to the manager and I go, why is the steak so cheap? Right, because we each got one, and mousse and whatever else, soup or whatever. And the meal came to $40. And he said, I can't charge anymore. Nobody has money here. It's a very poor country. And therefore, if I charged $50 for the steak, nobody could afford it. So I said, oh, okay, now I understand. Which is why I talked to the rib guy here and make the same argument. Well, if you start charging $45 for ribs, you won't have anybody sitting in the place. Nobody can afford it. I know you have your costs going up, but you either make a little bit less and you stay at $45 and you stay away from $45, or as soon as you go to 45, you might as well close up because nobody's coming to eat here at $45 for, well, and then when I went there last week at the barbecue place, and I noticed, being the economist I am, a lot of people ordering chicken. $26, $30 for ribs. A lot of people ordered chicken because like the chicken I got was $13.99 for a half barbecue chicken, and you get either a baked potato or fries, and then I got a side salad for $1.99 more. And I brought in my Ken's French dressing. I loved it. So I go to the waitress. I said, well, it doesn't have high fructose corn syrup, so your barbecue sauce is so sweet. I literally get sick after leaving. My feet bothering me, and gout, and I don't feel good because you put the dressing, the barbecue sauce is so sweet. So if I bring in the French dressing, I was fine. And they didn't care that I brought it in. It's fine as long as I bring it in and use it. When they leave with it, what do they care? So again, it's that's what you learn. So what's BlackRock going to do in Ukraine? Are they thinking they're going to sell $100,000 houses or $500,000 houses there? To whom? Zelensky ain't going to live there. He'll be killed. I mean, they hate him there. They got to get rid of him. He called off the election. There's supposed to be an election in March in the Ukraine for president. He called it off. I don't know where everybody ignores the Constitution now. What is that? Oh, we're supposed to have an election and we'll just ignore it. You know what? Gosh darn it, I changed my mind. That's my Galaxy Quest quote. Gosh darn it, we'll change our mind, and we're not going to have an election. How about that? I'll keep running because we're in a war. I also believe they're in martial law, which is when the military runs the country, not the government. So you throw the laws out the window. So if you get martial law here, run. Run fast. The only thing we have going for us here is gun control. That's what saves us. Because they can't really control. How are they going to control us? We'll just take our guns out and have a party with these guys, with Larry Fink. And it's funny is Larry Fink It's like just some real estate guy. Went to college selling real estate. Next thing you know, he's working at I don't know, an investment bank. So it's just funny how these guys get there. So that's what I've been watching. I went to the pool. I went and got my Teaserking works. I didn't know I was that good because I won $150,000 this year. Red hot the last 8 to 10 weeks, all the playoffs, and really the bowl games. The only one I hit the Alabama and the Washington one, and then I lost to Washington. And the bowls, it was tough because of the players sitting out. But the guys who played, I hit well. Missouri and Oregon, I think, played. So with that said, what it's doing is the total's totaling everything. So he's totaling the page. What happened was I have pro picks, college picks, locks that can be pro or college, and then the pro college. If I put Michigan with San Francisco, I don't know what to call it because if you buy my pro package, well, it's not a pro, it's a pro college, and I can't put it in college. So I didn't know where to put it. So if you bought my pros, you would get the game. But if they called it pro, it doesn't make sense because there's college, and then the guys who played the college wouldn't get it. So I added a pro college pick, which apparently shows up in the total only. So in other words, my pro total is pro. My college total is college. My lock total is anything that I lock. And then I have this gray area pro college, which you really don't see anywhere except to show in the total. So in the totals, so if I win 500 in college and 500 in the locks and another 500 in this, it'll show the 555. It'll show 2,000 in total, but the pros will be 5, the college will be 5, and the locks will be 5, but it won't total to the 2,000 because the pro college is included in the total. So the pros go to pros, the college go to college, the locks go to locks, but they're not total up. So I'm like, okay. So the total is right. The pros are right. The college are right. And the locks are right. It's just, there's nowhere to put the pro college pick, which again, I go after the best. And because, I'll see, Kansas City, Ohio State. And that's where I get it from. It's usually those early picks, or it could be a late Saturday night game where I've got, Iowa with Arizona, and Iowa loses, and I got Arizona at the 10 o'clock game. Saturday board's gone. The offensive guy, it's the coach. DeBoer is the offensive guy. So even if fact taken, it's a stupid hire because you want DeBoer.
The home warranty. It's a 1-year service plan that helps cover.
So with that said, I thought it was a strange move. It's just funny how Alabama can sign the coach more than the Seattle Seahawks. Why didn't they? Anyway, so now I was reading about those NILs and the pros. So the problem in too many college players were coming out and not getting drafted. Now with the NIL, the underclassmen, the juniors come out, aren't getting paid to, okay, like Van Dyke, okay, he goes to Wisconsin to get paid. But why are they paying him so much? So if they're not going to get drafted by the professional league, which is going to pay them professional dollars, why is college? So college is in effect overpaying for the players because the professional level aren't going to draft them, and they'll sit on the bench and they're not going to pay them anything. A likeness, it's supposed to be somebody or a little figurine or something. Let's pay the guy, $100. Was turning into this big money thing. Where they're getting the money, I don't know. I mean, where does Michigan get, $1 million to sign this guy? I mean, what, are you kidding me? From where? And they're getting TV revenue, but this whole thing makes no sense. If I'm pros, I'm pissed off because they're staying in college longer. I can't develop them. But I guess when they run out of eligibility, then they go into the draft. But then who wants them? Running back, or no, running back. Well, what you going to do? Is you going to go into the draft? Will he even get drafted? Is he going to get paid? How much is Oak State going to pay him? Why is there this competition between pros and college? College is not professional. So I don't get it, but they're way overpaying these guys. If they're not going to get drafted, it says, well, the guys who are really good, like Michael Penix or Bo Nix or these Caleb, let's say. Well, Caleb's going to get a big contract, so he's going to leave. He'll make more money in the NFL. He hopes. But these other guys like, Tyler Van Dyke and, Rising's injured is a little different. And then the kid out of Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma, I don't know why he's went to. How much did Oregon pay? And that's scary. If Oregon's paying a guy $5 million to stay, you got to be kidding me. I don't like this at all. It doesn't teach good stoic values. Oh, I'm going to screw you because you signed me, but then the coach left, so I'm going to run out. Or, I'm not starting, so I'm going to leave because I'm a baby. And if I don't start, I'm going to go somewhere else and try to start. Like the kid at USC went to Georgia, went to Rice. And then he got hurt and he can't play anymore. I love it. All right. BRICS is getting very, very close to gold standard, as is Russia. I don't know. Maybe, not sure. All these wars breaking out is like the U.S. wants to invade Iraq. It's on purpose. It's for money. It's not even a war. Hitler's trying to take over the world. We want to make money, so we'll have a war. Because wars cost money, and we want to destroy our economy. Because we'll go to it's not even a digital dollar anymore. I'll show you this Whitney Webb, who I really hate. Well, this is what BlackRock's going to do. And it sounds like what she's saying is initially the government's going to come out with a CBDC. And we're winning because what it sounds like is it's not going to come out. Nobody wants it. So what she says they're trying to do is like privatize. And BlackRock will come out and take over Bitcoin and get all the information, but it'll look like it's privatized instead of public. The fuck's she talking about? It's either private or public. If BlackRock wants to do it, it's private, and then they got to make money at it. Anything that the private sector does has to be profitable. And it's always a vote. It's always an auction. Do I want Canadian Club 12-year? This is an auction. I go to the grocery store. I can choose this. I can choose Coca-Cola. I can choose other whiskeys or vodkas. It's always a vote. So am I going to take this money from BlackRock? No. Why would I do that? And I don't see the government getting out of the business. And I don't see the banks getting out of the business. So I don't see JP Morgan and Chase getting out of the money business. He prints the fucking stuff. So I don't really know what they're trying to do with thinking they're going to have digital dollars and everybody's going to run to it. What they're going to try to do is scare people, right? This is what you have to understand. There is nothing with this war in Iran. There should not be a war. There shouldn't be a war with Russia. Russia is not going to invade. I know Irina's scared. I mean, Putin's coming. Putin's not coming. Putin doesn't want. He's got Russia. He doesn't need Poland and Romania and Hungary. He doesn't want it. He's not going to nuke you. He doesn't want it. But all that's scaring is that you need government. And that's really what they're trying to do. So let's take a listen to Whitney Webb here, who I hate, but let's see. Here's another guy. Please do not watch. Gold and silver will go parabolic. So I listened for 11 minutes and 26 seconds to this idiot. Let's see if we can get his name.
First off,
David Hunter. So the guy's name's David Hunter. Okay.
you haven't made money with AI yet, don't worry. AI is the biggest. This is a new melt up.
This guy's name's David Hunter. Okay. He talks about silver and gold, but when he gets into this 11-minute interview, doesn't say anything. Oh, somebody left the thing. Oh, it's me. Where did you find this idiot? Forgot to mention gold and silver, so I'll do it. Gold 20,000, silver 2,000. Once the USD collapses and BRICS comes out with the gold-backed currency. So you're learning more from me. Let me edit this. Okay, what did you... Instead of grind, let's call it find. Where did you find this idiot? Forgot to mention gold and silver. I hate when they put it in the comment. Silver boom, and then real gold and silver price, and yet didn't mention it once. Why isn't it in your title? And all he said was how that the S&P will go to 7,000, and I'm right, and da. Look, I was right at 5,000 or 6,000. Trying to brag that he was right, but gives absolutely no explanation into it. And you're just like it's a scratch your head moment. Like, who the fuck is this guy? What did he just say? He just talked and didn't say a word. Didn't explain shit. So avoid any talk of this idiot, right? Avoid this idiot at all costs. Again, this is why we do that.
There's a historical precedent.
So here's this Whitney Webb girl. And here's the Teaser King's comments. You are very naive as to how things work. The rich will fail. These idiots look how they're destroying the U.S. Buy gold for freedom, no debt. So she fails to even mention gold. She talks about crypto. I guess she thinks we're all idiots. The rich will fail. They're idiots. Look how they're destroying the U.S. So what I'm trying to say is you have a perfect economy and you're destroying it. So if they can't run this, which is Say's law and perfectly Austrian economics and supply demand, all the shit we talk about, how are you going to try to run with this digital dollar crap? Where are you getting this, that this is going to work? So let's listen a little. I do not like this girl. I don't agree with her. She's a crypto idiot. But let's listen.
Specifically in the U.S. for when they attempt to like pitch a particular policy or create a particular entity, if it gets pushed back as being openly part of the government, they privatize it and then no one complains. So a good example of this that I refer to a lot is the post 9/11 Dragnet surveillance operation that was going to be housed in DARPA, which is part of the U.S. military, called Total Information Awareness, and then this was privatized by Peter Thiel. Here, DARPA's LifeLog project, in the same vein, was privatized and turned into Facebook, again with the involvement of Peter Thiel. People on the left and right alike were extremely opposed to these programs when they were being run by the military, by DARPA, but then you go and turn them into a private sector entity that does essentially the same thing, or really does do the same thing, and it's embraced or treated as private sector innovation and what have you.
So what the fuck is she talking about? Okay, Facebook or Twitter or whatever, these are social networks that we don't embrace. Once we realize that it's all bullshit, we get off of it. So again, you have the choice. I don't know what she's talking about with this DARPA. Again, it's military, so I've never heard of it. Planeteer, the only thing I heard of is they bought a lot of gold. That's all I know about Planeteer. They bought like 50,000 tons of gold or something, or $50,000 worth of gold, or $50 million worth of gold, something like that. They bought a lot of gold. Planeteer. Again, I didn't know who they were. I don't know who they are. They're attached to the government. Post some Teaser King stuff. I'm really not on Instagram. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. I'm really not. If you are stoic, what do? We just sit there and we don't listen to the crap. So they aren't, just like they're not controlling us, with Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any of that. I use WhatsApp to talk to Daria and Jenna. That's it. So you're not controlling me. You're not making me go on Facebook. It's an option. And it's not, I don't know what she's talking about. We didn't want the military to do it. So it's okay if Facebook and Twitter do it. Do what? So people are stupid enough to put a picture of, they'll privatize it. Well, if they're privatizing it, it has to be profitable. In other words, there must be demand for the product. I don't like Facebook. I don't even know how they make money. They sell our information. Okay, so get off of Facebook, but what's the difference? What is anybody not at our level? I don't even understand what the hell this girl is talking about.
And people,
Transfer your IRA or your old 401k to Robinhood by April 30th and we'll give
with public pushback, find new life in the private sector, where they often operate under fewer restraints and great. Facebook is a prime example of this phenomenon. This move from public to private oversight isn't just a change of guard. It's a fundamental shift in how it's and perceived by the public. The implications of such transitions are vast and multifaceted for government entities. On the other, they highlight a concerning trend towards surveillance capitalism, where personal data becomes a commodity traded and exploited without users' explicit consent. If you're new here, consider subscribing and hitting the like button.
with someone like Malay being like, yeah, I'm going to hand stuff off to the private sector, it's not like it's going to the Argentine private sector. It's going to foreign members of a global banking cartel that includes some of the biggest institutions on Wall Street that have a verifiable documented history of corruption, of basically enslaving countries like Argentina through the debt slavery model. BlackRock has been a big part of that for Argentina. They hold a significant amount of Argentina's debt and are one of these so-called vulture capitalist firms. which operate sort of as this with him and is like, yeah, come visit Argentina and let's discuss investment opportunities. And think, according to Argentine media, is interested specifically in buying up things that Milei plans to privatize, expanding the amount of essential Argentine infrastructure, which BlackRock already has significant stakes in, including in their power, their electric monopoly, Pampa Energia. And also, one of his Malay's top advisors, Dario Epstein, was referred to as BlackRock's man on the ground in the years before.
So what she's talking about, I don't even fucking follow. BlackRock is an investment bank. You give them money and they invest it. It ain't Fink's money. And they're into Argentina. Well, they probably are into every country. Like they're into Ukraine. What does that mean? It doesn't mean it. When the dollar goes to zero, they're still going to be penniless, right? How much gold does Larry Fink have, if any? I doubt. So Argentina, well, when the U.S. dollar goes out, it's going to be worthless. This is the point she can't understand. If Larry Fink does this and the yen does that and this does that, it doesn't matter. The dollar is going out. Now what are they going to do? They're all going to go to Bitcoin. They're all going to go to this crypto thing that won't be from the government because all the pushback on the central bank digital dollar, it's going to be some other digital dollar. But are they going to get us out of the banking? This is going to go away. So the banks are going to allow this to go away? I don't think so. Or as I pretend with that this being gold, you're always protected in this. This is what you do. Being stoic and being in the gold and being in the silver, which we're calling this. If you have this, you don't listen to all that bullshit. Whatever the medium of exchange is, you sell this or you sell this, and you get whatever the medium of exchange is to pay your bills. If we're all broke, the system collapses. The system has to be Adam Smith. You have to go to work. There has to be a medium of exchange, and you have to go spend it. There's no way around it. You can't create a new form of economics. I mean, I can't even comprehend what the fuck. See, this is the problem when you get these idiots who don't understand economics. The key to economics, finance, money, it's got to be a medium of exchange. You can't pretend it. You can't fake it. You can't. We're not going to have a medium of exchange. How are you going to run an economy? If you don't let us go to work and make money and then spend it, what the fuck? You don't have anything. Why do you think Adam Smith figured it out in 1600? Right, 1600, he figures it out. He says, this is what we need. This medium of exchange. The Romans kind of had it with gold and silver coins, and you probably went to work and got some gold, and then you spent it on the Appian Way, or you happen to be at Caesar's and use their Appian Way. What are we supposed to do here? Not have a medium of exchange? The government's going to control us, and how's that going to work? We'll give you money where the money won't have a value, and who's going to sell products to us? You won't have a market. Okay, I'm going to give you 5,000 whatevers a month or 2,000 whatevers a month, and you can't travel here, and you can't go there, and you can't fly, and you can't drive, and you can't do this. What the fuck? Where are they coming up? This is like insanity. Not only will it not work, but you must have a medium of exchange, whatever you want to call it. Now, I'm telling you, the only way we're going to survive any of this bullshit is gold and silver, because it's money and we'll always have it. And this is what I don't know what she's talking. I don't know who's going to, people have to go for it. This Planetary, I never heard of it. I don't know what they do. Never seen a commercial for it. Never got a product from them. I don't know. I don't use Facebook. So if I just stay off of social media, I'm okay, I guess. But it sounds like. So I don't really know what the fuck she's talking about. This is the problem I have with her. Doesn't understand economics. She's more of a Bitcoin person.
Became a significant political figure in Argentine politics, and helped BlackRock get that stake in that power monopoly. And then he's given the central bank and also the economy to this duo that were in J.P. Morgan and then Deutsche Bank together. And were previously in the Mauricio Macri administration, where they oversaw a financial crisis. It's the same type of elite that Milei lampooned when he was on the campaign trail, but then he comes into office.
This AI trading bot, it just turned $500 into $5,000. Just 5
Not
minutes
enough
away.
commercials.
This is
He was on the campaign
So every
trail
time I
when he
pause
comes into
it, then I
office,
get these
and
commercials
becomes very
quickly.
Wall Street friendly. And the same thing happened with Trump as well, where he campaigns against the neocons and the elite, and then he puts neocons like John Bolton in his office and gets very cozy with Wall Street. Has a strategy and policy forum that's developing policies his administration enacts, and it's led by Steve Schwartzman of Blackstone Capital, Larry Fink's there, Jamie Dimon's there, all these Wall Street titans are there. The idea that these guys are actually populists when they're governing. I mean, obviously their rhetoric is very different, but there's a big mismatch there. But this is stuff that this bait and switch really is something that's been used in a documented way over the past 20 years, and people are unfortunately falling for it once again. But it's important to point out that when we're talking about it here, we're not necessarily referring to like Wall Street and other bets nexus.
Another made up word, crony capitalism. It's either Austrian, classical, or it's Keynesian. There's only two. So I love how they kind of try to invent their own capitalisms or, So again, with Wall Street, it's a Ponzi scheme, we know, and they can set the policies all they want, but it ends up becoming free market capitalism, which is Say's law, which says I go to work, I get paid, and then I buy things. I don't care what Larry Fink and Jamie Dimon do. They're doing it on Wall Street. And what are we not doing? We are not on the fucking Titanic because Wall Street and the banks. We realize it's all Ponzi scheme. So we do not let these idiots bother us at all. We're in gold and silver, and you want to go Ponzi scheme, and they're making money selling stocks, selling derivative, whatever they're selling, price fixing and doing these monopolies. It only works if if you want to do it. But if I just ignore it and I stoic it, and I say I don't want anything to do with these morons, then what are they happening? These people are, that's what I don't like about her, but she never really gets to the root of the problem. She'll say BlackRock this and BlackRock that, and you're like, and Planeteer or Facebook, like, I don't use Facebook. I don't know what Planeteer is. It's some government stuff where they're selling my information so I can go skiing in Vail. I don't know. I don't ski, but I don't care. All right.
Of power like that. I think there's always certain ways people go about trying to justify those things, but ultimately at the end of the day, it does an extreme disservice to their campaign promises, which they end up not fulfilling in a meaningful way. So he had to make deals for particular things to get through, but if you do too much of that, you don't end up delivering on anything. And so I'm sure people can justify that, but in this particular case, I think outcomes matter a lot more than rhetoric, just because of where things are. And I think ultimately about why this is happening has to do with them trying to left-leaning talking points, and they're going to try about the system from people on the left or people on the right. There's a lot of things that have an extreme bipartisan consensus that are very bad for individual freedom and individual liberty in the U.S.
So again, she thinks we're all idiots. She doesn't think we know anything. We don't